Hello, everybody. Brian Axie here. Still kind of messing around with this fighting game I've come up with. Came up with a couple different other mechanisms for the game in the last few weeks. Um, had a couple ideas. I was trying them out. I put together a tournament. So if you haven't seen any other videos, it's in my head. It's a like Mad Max post-apocalyptic um, prison fighting. These guys are the the worst of the worst, and they're in prison, and the wardens and the overall warden of the territory is, uh, giving them an opportunity to um, gain some better stuff while they're in prison. So, maybe if they win a tournament, they get a better cell for the next couple months or whatever it is. There's whatever your mind can come up with, but so I have created 72 fighters. They're all different skill levels, stuff like that. Um, the each fighter has a chance to have five offensive qualities and five defensive qualities, and then if during the fight their quality is called, if they have any of these, they have a chance to roll to get a bonus. Offensively, they will knock their opponent down one automatically, no matter what they have here, but they also have a chance to add a couple points to knock them down even further. On the flip side, defensively, uh, if they have the defensive quality, this is considered like a counter. They have a chance to counter to pick up some points because of their defensive quality. So, so my tournament, I pretty much shuffled up all the fighters. I randomly uh, dealt out 16, 4 piles of 16. That was the bracket. I put them in order. There's a way to figure out the strength of each fighter. I've done that with all of them. I had a spreadsheet, so I put them in order and seeded them. So I didn't mention it, but so Sanford Soner, his nickname is Junker. Um, I wrote it down here in the card. He is out of the 72 fighters, he is ranked 29th overall. On the flip side, you got Damon Reigns, Ghostface. He is ranked he's ranked 47th overall. Um, but I'll go through. So Sonner, um, let's see if I'm sorry, Reigns. He was in the first bracket. In the bracket, he was seated 12th. Um, by that number I was what just showed you on all the cards. But he just flew through. He won 4-0, 9-0, 3-0, and then in the championship he got a quick just a quick fight where he just pretty much dominated. He won 11-0. You'll see what the numbers how the numbers come out or what they mean. So and as far as Sonner, um, he was seated fifth in his bracket. Um, he won 3-0, 6-0, and then his last two he pretty much dominated 11-0, 11-0. So both fighters are have they're coming in hot, and this one should be good. Not exactly the guys I thought that would be here, but that's how it played out. So this is our first semifinal of this second tournament, and hopefully we'll get into some of the. I think you'll see right away kind of how the game is supposed to work with the fat cards here, um, and how they correspond to the fighters and how I'm playing it. Um, so I'm having a really fun time with this. There could be so much more added, narrative wise, card wise, all that stuff. But for right now, simple design, simple cards, simple idea. So um, give these a shuffle and we'll start our first semifinal. So, like I said, Sanford Sonner and Damian Rains. I will say for Sonner, he has speed, combo, and kick, and he has a chance to roll for bonuses on all of those, and especially on all of them, he has a chance if he gets a square uh, on the Fury die here. He'll not only get the point for having the quality, but he'll get a 2+ on it. On the flip side, Damian Rains, he only has power and pressure for his offensive qualities, but he gets to roll both times, and if he rolls a circle, which is 3 out of 6 chance, he's going to push that from a 1 point move to 4. So this could be a quick fight, just depending on how it goes. Um, so we'll see what happens. So give those a shuffle. I'll give it a cut, and I want to make sure this is on. So maybe I can move stuff up a little bit. Can't really move that up too much more. It's pretty close. All right, there we go. And like I said, there's some in this deck. There are 8 cards that have, or for the 10 qualities, there are 8 cards that have that quality on it, red and blue. You'll see that. There are a couple just quick +2s, +1s. There's one where if they're trailing, there's one, a couple of, they might get a chance to roll on their knockdown rating. And then on the flip side, if they do get the knockdown, then the other fighter has a chance to roll on the get up rating. So we'll just see how it plays out and what charts we get to and all that. So, all right. So, first card, does blue have block? He does. So that just means he blocked the attempt. There's no points, and we just flip the next card. Does blue have combo? He does not. Same thing offensively. If they don't have the quality, then you just flip the next card. Does he have chin? He does. So he blocks it. Is red tough? All right. So in this game, if the card flips and it's a defensive quality, and the fighter doesn't have it, then he loses a point. So Sonner, because he doesn't have tough, he's going to go down to 11. And I've been playing where I start at 12. You'll see on this thing, you can go up to 15. There's a separate pre-fight chart that you could roll on. Show it real quick. This is like the week leading up to the fight. Certain things can happen, good or bad. And depending on what they are, they could start with 15, they could start with 9, a combination in between, they could just nothing, neutral would happen. So that's another part of the game. I haven't been using it in this tournament, but I have in others, and it gives you a little more narrative. So, alrighty, so red have tough. No, we just saw that he doesn't have tough, so he's down to 10. Does blue have block? He does. And again, does red have tough? He does not. So the fact that Sonner's not the toughest dude is hurting him so far in this fight. Does blue have power? And here we go. Alright, so Rains does have power, and he's going to get to roll if he gets a dot instead of Sonner going down to 8 points. He's going to go down to 5 points. So here we go, and it's a circle. Wow. So Rains gets the point for having power, and then he gets 3 more on the bonus. So that must have been a big hit there. And he gets it again. Oh my goodness. And he gets the circle again. Unbelievable. So there's 1 for having power. 1, 2, 3 bonus. So Sonner in a whole lot of trouble. That's all I can say. It's 12 to 1. Not looking good for him. Does blue have footwork? He does not. That's a defensive quality. So he'll get down to down to 11. Does blue have speed? He doesn't. That's an offensive quality. Red have combo? He does. All right. So Sonner has combo. He's gonna move him down one. And we'll see if it gets any kind of bonus here. And he rolls a circle, so that's +1. So he'll knock Reigns down to 9. All right, and here is one of the special cards. It's a quick strike card. As you can see, it could, depending on how the deck shuffles, it could be for the red fighter or the blue fighter. This time it's for red, and that's Sonner, who really needed this, to be honest with you, being down 9-1. So what happens here is he has a knockdown rating. He's going to roll 2d6, add them together. He needs a 3 or 8, 9, 10, or 11, and he's going to knock down Reigns. It'll be kind of a stunning knockdown. And he got a 9, so he did knock him down. All right. Out of nowhere, Sonner knocks down Reigns. Okay. So he's knocked down. He's not quite knocked out yet because we got to see if he can get up. So something new I came up with. I haven't tested it a lot, but it seems like it works pretty well. So Reigns is going to get to roll 2d6, and depending on the defensive qualities he's had, there's going to be a range that if he rolls it, he gets up. All right. So first of all, we'll see, does he have chin? And he does. So a roll of 4 or 5, he gets up. Does he have tough? He does. So that's going to add 9 and 10. And then does he have block? And he does. He has a lot of qualities. So that's going to add 10 or 2 and 12. Alrighty. So he's going to roll 2d6. It's going to be hard to remember, but I got it written down here. So if he rolls a 2, a 4, a 5, a 9, a 10, or 12, he gets up and the fight continues. Now he's going to lose 4 points no matter what, but he needs to get up regardless. So here we go. Reigns going to try to get up. He rolls a 6, and that is not one of those numbers. So Sonner, in a surprising twist, after getting pummeled the first, I don't know, 10 cards, gets the knockout, and he's going to advance. Wow, that was pretty crazy. So Sonner is going to move into the championship match. That was, I don't think I could have scripted that any better the way that played out. That was nuts. All right, like I said, this Quick Strike Red, or it could have easily have been Quick Strike Blue, but it was Sonner. So we'll get these cards shuffled first. So yeah, so that's pretty much the gameplay. You're flipping cards. If the guy has it, for the most part, he's either going to get at least 1 point, or he's just going to stop from losing 1 point. And then there's all kinds of bonuses that each fighter could have. The gist is obviously the more qualities you have, that's the first on the list. That's going to be big. And then the amount of bonuses you have gives you a chance to move the guy down. I've been thinking about. I tested it with the last couple brackets of, how many cards was I going through in each fight, and having where you could play it where instead of you're playing it this way, you're playing a plus fight with, like, you deal out 20 cards, and that's the fight, kind of like a timing mechanism. And then once you get through all the cards, if there's obviously not a knockout, the fighter with the most points would win the fight and be like a decision type thing. I haven't tried that out yet. I was just curious even how many cards per fight I was getting, and it was right around, I think the one bracket was 19, and the second bracket I did was like 23, so somewhere around in there. But I'm going to do some more testing with it, and we'll see what I decide to do. All right, so set these two guys aside, and our next fight, our other semifinal, is between Marcus Halverson and Travis Gentry. So Halverson is the the number one fighter in the group. He's got 8 of the 10 qualities. He's got tons of bonuses he can get. His knockout rating is 2 to 7 or 12, or knockdown rating, and so he's pretty tough. Um, he showed that in his bracket. Of course, he was the number one seed. Um, he had a couple beat downs early in his first two matches, 11-0, 11-0, and then uh, won a semifinal 4-0 over Finley, who's a pretty good fighter as well. And then in the championship against Hayes, who is another really good fighter. I don't know if he's ranked third or fourth, but he beat him with a knockout. And so he'd probably be he was the favorite, obviously, being the number one fighter. For Gentry, he is the 41st ranked out of all the fighters. Um, he was seeded ninth. He won 6-0. Then he got a knockout, and then won a great fight with Hanley. Came down the last card, 1-0, and then he beat Barrett, who's the third seed, 7-0 to advance. So these two guys will go at it here. Got the tracker started at 12. Give it a cut here, and let's see what happens in the second semifinal with the winner going to face Sanford Sonner, who was a surprise win in the first semifinal. All right, there we go. All right, does Red have dodge? And that is the one defensive quality that Halverson doesn't have. So Gentry with the early lead. Does he have power? He does. The square will give him 2 more points. Nope. So he just gets the one. And we're even at 11. Is he tough? He is, so he'll avoid losing a point. Does Blue have dodge? Gentry does not have dodge. So he's going to move down one. Does Blue have combo? He does. Square will give him 2 more. Nope, just the one. So again, tied at 10. Does Red have kick? I guess I would stop here. I added kick. I'm thinking at first I didn't have it. I think I had the word counter. But I was thinking, if it's in a prison setting, there'd be some rules. They'd have, maybe they'd have gloves, maybe they wouldn't. It'd kind of be a free for all to a point. So I added that as one of the qualities. It could definitely be switched. All these qualities could be switched out for anything that thematically made sense. So um, I added kick in there. So does Red have kick? He does. No chance for a bonus, but he is going to connect with that and knock Gentry down to 9. Does Blue have block again? He does not. So he's going to get knocked down again. Can't block the shot or punch from Halverson. Does he have chin? He does. He has chin, and he's pretty good at coming off of that, or somewhat. He can counter it. He needs a triangle, and he doesn't get that, so he just blocks it. Is Blue tough? He is. Red has kick, so he connects again. Down to 7 for Gentry. Does Red have combo? He does, and a square will give him 2 more. Nope. So just down to 6. Does Blue have kick? He does. So he's going to Move Halverson down to 9. No chance for a bonus. Does he have pressure? Yes. And a square will give him an extra point. Nope, not this time. So 8 to 6. Back and forth. No dodge for blue. Ooh, Gentry. Dodge has hurt him a couple times. Not the quickest guy, I guess. Does he have combo? He does. A square is going to give him 2 more. Nope. So just 1. So 7-5. Alright, here's one of the special cards. It's just a flat out, the fighter made a couple good attacks. So Gentry gets that one, and he's going to knock Halverson down 2. And we're tied at 5. Getting down to the end here. Blue is tough. Does red have dodge? Nope. That's, again, one of those, the one that he doesn't have. So Gentry with a slight lead as we get down to the closing. Does he have block? Does Gentry have block? He does not. So again, tied at 4. This is coming down to the wire, back and forth. Red have pressure? He does. Oh. And if he rolls a circle, it's going to be the end of the fight because he has a +3. He's already going to get the 1. So circle, this fight's over. Nope. Can't quite get him. So 4 to 3. But he's going to get another chance. Nope. Didn't get it that one either. But he's knocked him down to 2. So it's 4 to 2. Does blue have footwork? He does. A triangle will give him a point at least. No, no point for Gentry. Combo, yes. And square, this fight's over. No. Alright, well, Gentry hanging on. Halverson's had 3 chances to put it away. He hasn't yet. We'll see if it comes back to haunt him here. Blue have pressure? He does. And a square will give him a point, extra point. No. So 3 to 1. Blue have power? He does. A square will give him an extra point. And he got it. So we are at 1-1. So the next card, or next card or 2, is going to decide this fight. It just depends on who gets it here. Who's going to make the last move? And it's red attack good. That is Halverson. So he's going to get the last punch in or last kick in. It says attack, so it's hard, you can in your head how he did it. But so Halverson survives that. That was a crazy fight. That was back and forth. Halverson had a chance to put Gentry away a couple times. And finally did, but a little tougher than that's how Gentry has fought. I think that's pretty much only the 41st ranked fighter, but he's done pretty well. He did pretty well throughout the tournament. So it'll be Halverson and Sonner for the championship here. So we got Halverson, he'll be the red fighter, and I don't think I mentioned, but I will now. The red and blue, there's an equal distribution between red and blue. There is no advantage for being red or blue. There's the same amount of cards in there, and distribution, easy for me to say, between both sides. So yeah, I just use it as for the most part when I'm playing as a to keep track a little. Just because I do it, I always usually put the highest rated fighter on the red and the lower on the blue. But it doesn't, game wise, it doesn't matter. It's even as far as chances go. All right, so I'm kind of curious to see how this one's going to play out. Halverson's kind of he's got a great card. He's a good fighter. Um, he's had his a few fights where he's put someone away early, and then he's had some where he's just other guy. And I guess that's makes sense. If you're the top guy, you're gonna get the best shot from everybody for the most part. So, all right, give it a cut, give it another cut, and we'll start right there. All right, Halverson and Sonner. All right, here we go for the championship of. This is like the second tournament I've ran, but I've done both with different ideas in mind. So the first one I was using that pre-fight chart that I showed. This one I did not. I just kind of went through and like I said, a couple of the brackets I was keeping track of how many cards. So all right, does red have block? Halverson does. He has block, and on a circle he's going to get a point. No. Does blue have block? He does not. So Sonner's going to go down to 11. Is red tough? He is tough. On this card, it says is if it asks if the fighter has the quality, and if he does, he gains 2 spots back, kind of like a second win. Um, uh, I've been playing it. Halverson, he hasn't lost any points yet, so he doesn't gain anything back. If he was like at 5, then he would go up to 7. That's kind of the idea behind it. Does he have speed? He does not. That's the one offensive quality he doesn't have. Does he have block? He does. Oh, doesn't get the point. Kind of a slow moving start here. He does have block again. That time he got the circle, so he's gonna block and counter. Moved Sonner down to 10. Does blue have chin? He does not. So another point down for Sonner. Red's going to get an automatic +2 attack. So down to 7. Again, he's tough. Blue has dodge, so Sonner going to square will get a point. Nope. He's not tough, so he's going to lose another point. He does have footwork. A triangle will get him a point. Oh, he got it. He got the triangle. So he got, no, it's down to 11. Does blue have speed? He does. Square will get him 2 more. Nope, just the 1. So 10 to 6 in favor of Halverson. Halverson red, yeah, he has footwork. Got a couple different chances here. And a circle will get him a point. So Sonner down to 5. Red doesn't have speed. Doesn't have speed. Oh, but he's going to get a chance for a knockdown. All right, so pretty good. Halverson's pretty good at knocking people down. He's 12 or 2 through 7 or 12, and he got a 10. Wow. So he doesn't knock Sonner down, and the fight continues. Blue has dodge, but he won't get the square. He doesn't have power. He does have kick, and a square will get him 2 more. No, so just the 1 for having the quality. Does red have block? He does. A circle will give him a point. No. He has chin, so he avoids that. He's tough. He avoids that. Second win. So the trailing fighter gains back 1 space. All right, so Sonner going to gain back a space. A little second win. See if it works for him. Red has combo. Square will get him 2 more. Nope, so just the 1. So back down, back to 5. That was quick. Blue doesn't have power. Blue is not tough. Sonner does not have the tough quality, so he's down to 4. red doesn't have dodge, so he is down to 8. He has combo, and a square will get him 2 more, and there it is. There's a square. So that's going to be a 3-point move. He's down to 1. Blue does have combo. He's got a couple chances for bonus. He doesn't get either one of those though, so it's just a 1-point move. Red has kick, he does, and that is the fight. So Halverson, um, the favorite, pretty much number one fighter in the whole system. He runs through and wins it. So tough fight though. Went through some cards there for sure, but Halverson ended up winning the fight. So I think the only thing that we didn't see in 3 fights, and it's on purpose. It's supposed to be kind of like a I don't know, not an, kind of an unusual result. There's a couple cards in here. Of course, I won't be able to. Here's one that come up, and it's just called Outburst. So this is kind of like a random, unusual result type of card. So I have this chart that when you get the Outburst, you roll on it, and some of the you roll a it's a D66 roll. So say we got it, and I roll a 14. It asks if the blue fighter had speed, and he did. He would. So then you would roll on this. Just you'd roll the Fury die, and he would either get a +3, 2, or 1. And if he didn't have it, then the opponent would get to roll on that same thing. There's some just automatic point values here that could happen up to 4. So that's just kind of there's some narrative that could be built into this. I haven't got that far yet, but like I said, there's only a couple cards in this deck. This deck is 100 cards, I believe, or 102, somewhere around in there. So there's only 2 of these. So 2% chance, 1% chance, somewhere around there of that coming up, and it's the same on either side. So I believe that's the only card that maybe or situation we didn't run into is the Outburst. I don't remember getting that at least. But like I said, there's this is one of I guess the one we didn't get to is it's a Super Punch card. Um, Pretty much it's kind of like there's a Quick Strike as well. I think we might have gotten that. We're using the KO rating, but if the fighter has the power quality, then even if you roll outside of his range, no matter what, if you roll doubles, then it's considered a knockdown as well. Um, so I think that's it. That's kind of the game. Um, I'm working on, like I said, I've got a lot of the stuff is done in a spreadsheet, so it's PDF. I'm trying to figure out a way to PDF everything, the player cards, the fact cards, the charts, and all that. So if anyone would be curious on wanting to play it, try it out, see what they think. I'm trying to get that together. I've got it'll probably be a couple months, but that is something that I'm hoping to do. But that's it. That's how the game works. I'm having fun with it. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that could be added to it. I have my idea what these are kind of generic cards. Um, they could be really fancied up with some artwork, and in my head the card would be two-sided. On the front it would have the fighter's name, like an image, some data where they were born, some other maybe a catchphrase or something, and then when you flip it on the other side, it would have you know all this stuff on the back, and I could see that being a real kind of a cool visual, having the fighter, and then you shuffle however you want to do it. Um, as far as a tournament, or you could have certain guys are from certain prisons and they're fighting like a season, and you keep track of records. This guy has fought 10 times, he's 8-2, and or this guy's they two guys have fought 3 times, and this happened. But a lot of possibilities so far that I've come up with. But I think it's a fun little game. I mean, you could create your own guys. I mean, it's pretty easy to see how it works. The more qualities, the better. The more chances for bonuses, the better. You're using the play Fury die. Obviously, if you have a circle, it's a better chance. Square a little less, and triangle not very good. But so you can use percentages on that. But so I think that's it. So again, Holverson, Marcus Riot Holverson, the number one fighter in all of the cards. He goes through the his bracket and then wins a semifinal. Down down to the wire with Travis Gentry, and then beat Sanford Sonner in the title match. Relatively easy, I would say, 7-0. There were some points there where Gentry could have made a move, but wasn't able to do it. So I think that's it. Just showing off kind of what a couple of additions. Like I said, I got to thinking for instead of just straight up knockout, there should be something for the fighter if he has some defensive qualities. So I came up with he gets a chance to get up after the knockdown. So alrighty, well, let me know in the comments if what you think. Anything I'm pretty hard headed or pretty light headed, I guess, or however you want to put it. I'm up for criticism or praise, either one. So, but I'm having fun with it. I think, like I said, there's a lot, uh, so much that could be added to it to make it a fun game. Um, Kind of one that just kind of plays out. Um, but I guess I'll leave it at that. So, thanks for watching, and I have a great day. Talk to you guys later. Bye.